Wow, you started recording that fast?
I automatically did it, I think, because I didn't touch
Okay.
anything. I'm just sitting here with my hands in my lap, like, oh, hi. Ah, so, hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm not feeling great today, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I sound like a dude, but I feel way better.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I don't know what that is like. Okay, you can feel better, but you're gonna sound worse.
Yeah.
Mm. So, chapter 9. Mm. First of all, the next book that we're reading, uh, The Currency of Heaven, I
Yes.
actually was messaging with his wife earlier today. And I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
by the way, our next book club, we're doing your husband's book. It was like, we're really excited. But, I don't think I'm pretty well aware, like, I think she's well aware of what it says. So she's probably not
Right.
gonna join us for book club, but I did like make sure to let her know that we were going to be doing it.
And we're doing it on Telegram?
I think it's still gonna be on Zoom. I'm just moving the actual like chat and the recording over to Telegram because
Okay.
some people that are not on Facebook anymore, and Facebook just told me that they were mad at me for something. So I'm like, whatever. So
Well,
obviously,
Facebook gets mad a lot.
yeah. People are like, is this you? Is this? And I'm like, yes, I have three Facebook accounts because Zuckerberg loves me that much. So, chapter 9, healing and deliverance from idols. Oh. So, first of all, did you make communion bread? Did you have a chance to?
I did not, but I've done it before. We used to make it for our church in Federal Heights.
Mm. I you know, I didn't have any or like the blood of Jesus, so I was taking little biscuits and sips of coffee while I was doing my communion. I don't know if that's like looked down upon or not, but it is what it is. That's what I did. I did it in
I
rem
think whatever you use to represent is fine.
yeah. He knew where my little heart was.
Absolutely.
So it's talking about healing and deliverance from idols. And it was talking about, it referenced Psalm 106, verse 36 and 37. And hang on, of course, because I switched translations. All of a sudden it goes back to the book of Luke. No, go. Ugh. Okay, Psalm 106. All right. I had it highlighted this time. They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons and to the gods of Canaan. They poured out the blood of these innocent children and made the land filthy. I'm just going to say this. That is exactly where we are at today with the Epstein file release. Literally, they have sacrificed our sons and daughters to demons. They literally have, it's in the files. There's a reason why people are saying that our world is run by satanic pedophiles because they really are satanic. They're sacrificing our sons and daughters as well as their own to demons. I hate to pick on Megan Fox, but let's just look at her for a second. She has three sons. All three sons have decided to become women. That's statistically impossible. Statistically impossible. So she, in fact, has sacrificed her sons to demons. And um, that is exactly where we're at right now. But it not only falls there, it can go into money, family, possessions, or like goods that you have, things you own, social media, or food. I mean, I know some people who are addicted to like corn. So it is real. Idols are real. They can be anything.
Everything you put before God is an idol.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. So, in the chapter, they talked about um in Deuteronomy, cursed is the man who makes an idol or a molten image, an abomination to the Lord. The works of the hands of the craftsman set it up in secret. And I was thinking about how they're talking about like idols of gold and stuff. And the Oscars, they are literally an idol of gold. It is an idol. Like people worship the stars of Hollywood, and the stars of Hollywood go to the Oscars, and the best of the best get a golden idol, aka the Oscar statue. Also, Golden Globes. Any award. And it also reminded me of what Forrest Frank said because he was not going to go to the Dove Awards because he didn't want any kind of recognition personally for anything that he had done because all of the glory should go to God, all of it. And for those people that were standing up at those award shows, just friendly reminder, like 50% of them went to a party and ate people later. So that's fun. And they probably sacrificed those people to their demon little g gods. So that's who like people have been looking up to forever. And I am guilty of it. Like I remember growing up and I never missed an award show, especially when I did hair, because I was deathly afraid that somebody would come in the next week and be like, did you see Caitlyn Jenner's hair at the Oscar Awards on Sunday? And what if I said no? No. Well, that's the color I wanted. So I literally had like this fear that I should not miss a single award ceremony because I might not know what kind of updo somebody wanted or what kind of color or hairstyle they wanted. So I'm guilty of it too. I am guilty of it too. That's why I feel like I'm okay to call it out because I've been there. I have actually had to turn the television off. I made a conscious decision of those people are not my people. I'm not going to vote with my dollar that way anymore. So I don't watch television. I don't go to the movies. I don't support Hollywood in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I just don't. I choose not to because I know what they're doing and I can read. And in the Bible, it clearly says, don't do that. So next it was talking about how idols are deaf, dumb, blind, and lame. And it was referencing Psalm 135. And I wanted to read it in the CEV because I feel like they break it down real good in there. They have a mouth and eyes, but they cannot speak or see, which would make them deaf and blind. They are completely deaf and
Dumb.
cannot.
They can't speak, they're dumb. Right. Not deaf, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, mute. Yeah,
Yeah.
mute, blind, deaf. And it says they can't breathe. I would think that would be the lame part. But right before that, Psalm 135, verse 15 does say, idols of silver and gold are made and worshipped in other nations. They have a mouth and eyes, but they cannot speak or see. Again, reminds me of the Oscar statue. It is gold, it has a mouth and eyes, but it can't speak or see. It has ears, but it can't hear. And she referenced to read the book Idol's Riot that she wrote with Dr. Francis Miles. And to summarize, if you've turned anything into an idol, you can also have these kinds of issues manifesting in your physical body. So, um, like biblical examples would be um in Mark and in Matthew, it was talking about this little boy, and from what I could gather reading it, it sounded to me like he was having epileptic seizures, but
Yes.
I could be wrong. But he would fall down and convulse and foam at the mouth and grind his teeth and fall into a motionless wasting away. And I've seen someone have an epileptic seizure before, and that's pretty much exactly what happens. They
Oh
like,
yeah, because if it's a really bad one that you're convulsing and foaming at the mouth, they don't come out of it right away for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And Jesus, like, talks to this demon that's in him and tells him to come out and then never go into him again. And the demon does exactly what Jesus tells him to do. But Jesus identified it as dumb and deaf spirit and then quickly dispatched it. And when you translate the word alalos, which is what they're using to say dumb, it actually means speechless, dumb, lacking the faculty of speech. Because the effects of demonate, because of the defects of demonics were thought to proceed from the nature and peculiarities of the demons by which they were possessed. So and I actually called my friend with epilepsy today, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna get, like, I left her a voice message on Messenger, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna get this right away, but I was just reading, and I think maybe your epilepsy is tied to being moonstruck and the fact that there may have been moon worship in your background somewhere or in your history, your personal history. Um, so if I were you, I would look more into that. And then I was thinking about it, and she once said to me that her neighbor thought she was a witch, and I was like,
You thought her neighbor was a witch, or her neighbor thought
no,
she
her
was a witch?
neighbor thought she was a witch. So that's what she told me once. And I was like, hmm, maybe there's something to the fact that being moonstruck and having an epileptic seizure is tied together. Because even today, many people look up to the moon like for their cycles and all kinds of stuff. And they like idolize it almost because they're looking for like the tides and their cycles and you know if there's a full moon, I think it's they go outside and charge their crystals in the moonlight. And I'm like, I know that God made the sun and the moon, but also with that said, there are weirdo people out there that think that the sun and the moon are like their own deities and that they just like appeared out of whatever thin air. There are those people. But it was also talking about falling on deaf ears. And oh gosh, I hate it when somebody tries to call right when I'm looking up stuff on the phone. Like, I love you, I'll call you back, but bye. So in Psalm 58, verse 4, it talks about the adder, the deaf adder. And your words spread like poison, like the bite of a cobra that refuses to listen to the snake charmer. And one of the activations in here, she was talking about putting your fingers in your ears and like repeating a certain prayer and getting rid of any deafness or failure to hear God's voice clearly and being able to discern those frequencies and oh gosh, what word did she use? Vibrations. Frequencies and vibrations to properly discern those voice that voice of his and the Holy Spirit and Jesus versus some outside voice that you probably wouldn't want to pay attention to. So we need to always be aware of the fact that things can get in our ears and cause us to hear frequencies that are not from God. So we need to be aware of that. Also, she was talking about singing along with fiery songs when you do this. And she had great activations for this as well. She gave lots of biblical examples all throughout this chapter, which I loved. Um,
Well, yeah, because if you're not going to use biblical examples, I don't know that I can listen, right?
yeah, and it's just like this is totally off topic, but I was at a network marketing training last week, and one of the girls said, like, you know, she was reading a sentence and then she said, why? Who says? And it's like, you can say all the good things you want to, but who says? Why is that even a thing? Why is it good? So for her to back it up with biblical evidence was huge because I was just coming off of the why and who says, like, interrogation of, okay, that's a cool statement, but why is that? And so for her to make a statement and then back it up with biblical evidence was huge. I loved it.
And I love that she uses both Old Testament and New Testament because she's giving the complete picture. She's not taking things out of context, and that's super important as well.
Um, Also, she was talking about, um, in the Bible, there was this guy and um
Ooh, the Bartimaeus one?
the Timaeus, yeah, the son of Timaeus.
Yeah.
And in the Bible, she had noticed that um that they'd never really said son of Timaeus after someone. She just thought it was odd. Like I think some things are odd sometimes too. Like I've read passages a million times and then all of a sudden I'm like, but why myrrh? Why myrrh? Like, what is the meaning? And I like dove into it and I was like, oh, I did not know that about myrrh, but now I do. But she like got struck by the son of Timaeus and she looked up Timaeus in Greek in the lexicon, and it comes from the root word tame, which I'm probably like butchering because I don't speak Greek, but it means unclean. And so, you know, Bartimaeus probably had some sort like he probably was made to become blind because of the Timaeus idolatry in the past of Timaeus's life. It had nothing to do with Bartimaeus. It was to do with Timaeus. So that's why I think it's so, gosh, something just fell. Okay. Sorry. I don't like it when things fall. But that's why it's so important for us to look deep within our bloodline because it might not just be something that we have done. It might be something that,
Generational curses. Right.
and I've had to rebuke stuff a lot lately because of stuff. And I literally have said that a lot. But also, I thought this was so funny. So it's talking about like boils and growths and tumors and cancer, and it throws out hemorrhoids. And I was like, what?
Yes, I love how she's like, it can literally cause a pain in the rear.
And it was like, and I circled this. As painful as this must have been, there was an unusual breakout of hemorrhoids. And the King James Version of this passage says, the Lord smote them with emerods. Emerods is the Hebrew word takor or torm, which, according to Strong's Concordance, means to burn, a boil or ulcer from inflammation, especially a tumor in the anus. And like, yeah, so she says, ouch, that just goes to show that idolatry can be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I laughed so hard. I was just like, oh gosh. Whew. But like, I sat there and did these activations, and especially with the snakes around the throat, I totally believe in that because, side note, before 2017, I killed it in vocal everything. Like I sang the Star Spangled Banner at multiple sporting events. I like if I needed an extra like $100, I would just go to a karaoke competition that week and just kill someone. Like I literally I knew I was gonna win when I walked in the door. At least be in the top three. So I was like, what are the prizes? All right, I'm here for it. So I just knew that. But in 2017, when I had my hemorrhagic stroke, it affected my vocal cords and I could not sing anymore. And I did this activation today with my hand around my throat. And I sang, I left it in the river, the whole ass song from start to finish. And it wasn't terrible. I won't do it on camera for y'all because I will spare y'all, but it wasn't terrible. Like it was not like it was 2 days ago when I was trying to sing in my car to that song. It wasn't like that at all. It was way better. So I know for a fact that if you have faith and you are doing the things that are said to do here, you can start to release that trauma, especially like I have trauma right here around my vocal cords. I know it. And I was able to release some of that. So I loved it. I really loved it. But at the end of this chapter, she talks about an activation you can do and things that you can say while you're in the courts of heaven pleading your case. And it basically guarantees you victory. If you are saying these things out loud and really believing what you're saying, because it's one thing to just say, Lord, I invite the Father, God to flow through the judicial branch. It's one thing to just, read out loud. It is another to
That's
actually
just
have,
formulation. That's not real.
yeah. It's another thing to have conviction and belief and faith in what you were saying. Like when I was going through this, I was like, Lord, like my poor neighbors probably think I'm crazy because, or they're like, Jesus freak is at it again. Because I mean, I was screaming about the chaff being burned in my soul and like screaming. So there is a difference between just reading aloud and then actually having conviction.
Absolutely.
So what were your takeaways from this?
Well, so some of the things that I really got out of it, when it was talking about, um, it was talking about the muteness and the scales falling off of our mouths and how, the enemy uses that to keep us quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times we don't even see that. We stay quiet about things, not realizing that it is a scale over our mouths, that we're being held back from the things that we need to say, that we should be saying and doing. And I really like that. And then another thing that I really got out of it as well is, um I mean, and they didn't say this attitude of gratitude, but when when she was talking about the woman who had the 8 tumors on her arm and 5 of them were melted away,
Yeah.
but she was focused on the 3 that were still there and completely ignoring the 5 that were gone. We don't look at how far God's brought us and what God's done in our lives. Instead, we tend to still focus on the struggles and the challenges that we still have. And that holds us back. That holds us back in such a huge way because it is scales over our eyes.
Um, we've had some of the city leaders for the Save Our Children marches that are feeling like they're being attacked and muted and things like that. And, um, I just went and prayed over that for the scales to fall off their vocal cords and for God to be able to use those voices and stand up for his kids using those voices. And if he doesn't want to use those voices, then great. Replace them with 10 more that speak even louder, please. You know?
Right. Absolutely. Because our kids need it.
Yeah, they do. And I think that's like one of the girls, she's actually in Nashville and she's had like hard times. So that's why I'm going up there for this next March because one, we're better together, and two, Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, so it should just be well represented.
Yes.
So that's where
And when are you doing that?
it'll be nationwide, April 11th. We have over 100 cities in America and 20 in Canada, I believe now. So it's good.
Okay.
We started with like, I think it was like 20 cities last month. So for it to just blow up 5 times its size, like we're we're all just regular people with 9 to 5 jobs that have no idea what we're doing, and we're trying our best. You should see the behind the scenes scrambling that's going on here. Like all of us are like, oh my God, ah! Like there's spreadsheets happening, chat GPTs happening all over. There's a website being built by another guy. Like we have an Instagram team, we have a Facebook team. Like just all these things are happening, and meanwhile I'm like, here's a flyer, here's the video, here's like this information. So like I'm just trying to glue everyone together because I keep telling them, I'm like, you know, even though I'm not in Idaho or Michigan anymore, I've been able to send those flyers to my friends in Idaho and in Michigan because at least they're getting that information from someone they already know, like, and trust. Like, they know it's a good, legitimate thing because someone they know is sending them the info. Like,
Absolutely.
if, Dre was to send her friends that lived in Nashville area some stuff about ours, they'd be getting it from her and they would like know it's legit. So I keep trying to coach them along in that like aspect of it. Like just go, just like word of mouth it and trying to keep it non-political and peaceful. And trying to keep it non-political and peaceful and stay peaceful is real, real hard for me because I'm Gen X. So
Get it.
a lot of
We
times,
choose violence. It's true.
I'm just like, you don't know who's gonna come to the door, if it's gonna be Jesus or a hood rat. So knock accordingly, okay, people? It could be Jesus or it could be your worst nightmare. So just remember that. But next week, can you believe it's like the next to last chapter of this book?
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, I was just,
So then, so next week, I will. Is it next week? I got to look at my calendar.
I was just
Um,
same
I
thing.
think it's next week is the week that I'm not going to be able to do it Tuesday.
Okay, yes, I have that. I have Wednesday the 25th written for book club.
Okay, so we'll do it Wednesday next week.
And
Perfect.
I have Tuesday the 31st for book club.
Yes.
All right. All right. I love you so stinking much. And yes, I'm so excited for the next book, honestly. Like, I'm bittersweet about this one ending, but I'm also very excited to start Taylor's because I know how much I get from the Deep End podcast. So for it to be concentrated into a book, I'm super excited. So, yay.
It'll be awesome. All right. Have a great week.
You too. Have fun at seminar. I love you.
All right. Love you too. Bye.